Well, hello everybody and welcome to Chef's Baking Blog. Now today I'm going to be icing our Christmas cake. So this is the third part of the video of making the Christmas cake, and for that I'm going to be using a royal icing, which is basically egg whites and icing sugar or confectioner's sugar. With mine there's going to be a little bit of lemon juice as well. Now you could do your icing with fondant icing, and you can buy that in the shop quite easily and roll it out, and some people might like to do that, but the traditional way in the UK is really with royal icing, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Now the other thing is that you can do this in various ways. One way is to do separate layers of royal icing, so you put some on the sides and let it go hard, then you put some on the top, let it go hard, keeping it flat, so you flatten the sides and flatten the top so it's all nice and smooth. Once it's gone hard you can put another layer on the side, then another layer on the top, and then after that's gone hard, a thinner layer which you slightly water down the icing so you get a thinner icing, and you put that on the top, and that's easier to smooth out so you get a nice smooth cake. But for mine, I'm actually really not going to dress my cake particularly fancily. I'm going to put the icing on, and then I'm going to form peaks on the top and just leave it at that. It's all about the cake and eating the cake rather than the decorations. So in order to do that, we'll go through the ingredients. I have here 3 egg whites. In actual fact I have 100 grams of egg whites, and these are pasteurised egg whites. You can buy them in a shop in a carton of pasteurised egg whites. In some places apparently you can also buy eggs which have been pasteurised. On my blog I've put a link to a site which shows you how to pasteurize your own eggs, and the reason for doing this is that unpasteurized eggs can contain bacteria which, because we're not cooking the egg whites, might not be very good for some people's health. So I'm using pasteurized. That means there's no bacteria in this, and that's fine. I have 100 grams of those egg whites, and I have 600 grams of icing sugar, and I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to start frothing my egg whites a little bit. And then I'm going to add the icing sugar, but I'm not going to add it all in one go. I'm adding it sort of in 3 or 4 different, 3 or 4 stages, and I'm going to whisk this very slowly until the egg whites get mixed in, so we don't get too much of a cloud. And then I'll add some more, and at this stage I'm also going to add my tablespoon of lemon juice, and you may need to scrape down the sides of your bowl as well at some stage. Okay, so I had that at stiff peak level. I'm just going to whisk that to get out of the, to get as much of the icing out of the whisk as I can. I'll set that to one side for a moment. So I'm actually just going to transfer this into another bowl so that it's easier to use. Now, if you do decide you want to do yours in layers, then as long as you cover the remaining icing after one layer, cover the icing that you have left with cling film and let the cling film touch the surface of the icing sugar and make sure that it is sealed airtight, then it will stay soft. If you let the air get to it, it will go hard, but it will stay soft and you can use it the next day to put on an additional layer. Okay, so then here's our cake. And if you were doing layers, you would layer the side first of all and then the top. I'm going to do it all in one, but I will start by putting some on the side. And it will make a mess of the turntable, but we'll scrape that down later. And then what I want to do is, I just want to scrape that in a paddle-like motion, knocking some of the air bubbles out that we might have. And I'm going to put some more on the side. Filling any gaps I have in the sides as I go. And as I said, I'm not going for a smooth finish particularly. I would smooth the edges a little bit, but the top's going to be peaked. And I think that's as much icing as I need in all probability. and then with my straight edge right up against the cake, I'm going to keep turning the turntable so that I have a fairly straight edge. And then I'm going to take a long edge and I'm holding it at about 45 degrees, and I'm going to scrape it over the top to level the top as much as I can. So that I have a fairly level surface, which I'm then going to peak. And with that like that, I'm just going to try to smooth the side edge as well. Like that, just up a little bit. And I think that's probably as much as I want to do, except for the peaking on the top. And for that, I'm going to place my spatula on and pull it up. And so for my icing, that is all I'm going to do. As you can see, it's got enough peaks on. You might want to put some Christmas ribbon around the edge or something like that. And if you've got a nice smooth top, you might want to put some Christmas decorations on. For me, I'm going to leave mine exactly like that and deliver that as my Christmas cake. So with our cake iced, by whatever means, if you're going to do it in layers or as I've done here, the thing you need to do then is to let it set firm and then store it in an airtight container. I mean, you can store it in an airtight container straight away, but if you leave it out for a couple of hours, it will begin to set and it will set firmer over a day. Then store it in an airtight container and it will keep for weeks, months, even years, basically. So that's going to be it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen, as ever, there will be a link to the recipe. That's the full recipe for the Christmas cake, the marzipaning and the icing. And I'll also put a link below the video that you can click to get to that recipe. And I will be back with you with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.